Hello and welcome to the Daily Meal for Monday the 3rd of January 2022. And in today's video we're going to talk about a few stories and then we're going to finish the video with the stats from yesterday's awful result at Bristol City. So let's just get started. So this is the weekly 4 takeaways piece from the londonnewsonline.co.uk. They do this after every game. I'm trying a little summary about what happened in each game. 4 takeaways from Millwall's 3-2 loss at Bristol City. Rare mistake by Bar, but Bradshaw and Afobes partnership flourishing. Millwall squandered a 2-1 lead to lose 3-2 at Bristol City on Sunday afternoon. The Lions were in control at the break thanks to Tom Bradshaw's 5th goal in as many games and a Benik Afobes penalty. That was in response to Andres Wyman's opener after Bart Biakowski's slice clearance fell straight to him. Wyman struck twice more in the second half to complete the comeback, and his hat-trick to ensure Gary outside start 2022 with a defeat. The South Londoners could once again only name 14 senior players and were unable to fill the bench after Mason Bennett pulled out with illness on a Saturday. Here are Alex Grace's 4 takeaways from the game. Jekyll and Hyde from the Lions again. Well, I used the roller coaster analogy yesterday, but they go with Jekyll and Hyde, which is Cockney Roman slang for snide. So Jekyll and Hyde being the scientist and the monster that comes out after he drinks his own potion. Millwall's season has been a story of inconsistency. Well, you could argue that it is consistent. It's consistently inconsistent. How about that? How about them apples? You like them? The Lions have not been able to follow up a good performance and a good result with another. In fairness, there was not a whole lot wrong with the performance at Ashton Gate. Going forward, I would say that when we try to defend, it fell to shit. We do have to take the COVID issue into account here. It was the second time that the Lions had taken to the pitch in 4 days with a heavily depleted squad. 15-year-old Zach Lovelace was once again on the bench. The Lions boss Rowett said they could have asked the EFL for postponement, but they wanted to play. A full week without a game before next Saturday's derby against Crystal Palace in the FA Cup will give the squad breathing space to have more available. And I bet you that they'll all be chomping at the bit to be involved in that one. A lot of eyeballs on that. That's a marquee game there. Rare Biakowski mistake punished. Bart Biakowski does not make many mistakes, summed up by the fact that he's won the Player of the Season award back-to-back at Millwall. The mistakes that he tends to make a lot of the time are to do with his feet, indeed. Mostly distribution-wise, I would think. I don't think he tries to dribble with the ball and gets caught out. I don't remember that, really. And punching-wise, he's fine as well. So, against Wickham last season, he made an error of trying to play out with the ball. He will have been very disappointed with the mistake that led to the opening Bristol City goal. The ball back to him was not the best, and his slice clearance fell right into the path of Wyman, who finished with quality. Biakowski makes amends with a couple of good saves in the second half as fatigue set in for his teammates. Indeed. Bradshaw hot streak continues. He's sizzling. Mill have been crying out in recent seasons for a striker who can score on a regular basis. They have had Tom Bradshaw for so long, but it's only this season where we are seeing the best of him. He netted his 5th goal in as many games and his 7th in his last 9 appearances. He became the first player since Lee Gregory to score in 5 consecutive games for Millwall. He had some really barren runs, but he finally looks to have settled and found a home in SC16. The partnership with Benik Afobes is really beginning to flourish. Afobes ends mini drought. Benik Afobes has lots of quality and has shown it at its level on many occasions. He is very much a confidence player and will thrive on any chances he gets. His movement up top end of the pitch is key for Millwall. The start of the season was a little bit more difficult for him as the system did not suit his strengths. The new system adopted by Rowett allows the on-loan Stoke City man to actually play with a bit more confidence when he has someone alongside him. The partnership with Bradshaw will also fill him with confidence. They know where each other are. Now they suit each other very well. Bradshaw's movement and fitness levels allow Millwall to have that press up top. But I thought Benik Afobes' penalty was a bit ropey. That run up. I mean, you got lucky with that, mate. That was a bit weird, that run up. Almost stopping. I was off. I looked behind and was expected the referee to blow his whistle and say, "No, you have to take that again. You can't do it like that. It needs to be." I don't know. They keep changing the fucking rules. Well, in my day, back in my day, it had to be a straight run. You couldn't stop. He kind of didn't. He kind of slowed down, but it looked like he stopped. And that was a bit weird. And I thought, oh, come on, mate, just take a proper penalty. But we scored, so what do I know? So, talking of Benik Afobes, we're going to bring you this. This is from bristolpost.co.uk. And of course, Benik Afobes did play for Bristol City. And we're going to read about that now. So Benik Afobes posts classy message to Bristol City fans after emotional celebration at Ashton Gate. Benik Afobes was applauded from all corners of Ashton Gate after scoring from the penalty spot in the first half. Bristol City still retain a special, if not painful, place in Benik Afobes' heart. The feeling is mutual as the striker made a goal-scoring return to Ashton Gate in the colours of Millwall. Afobes only played 12 games for the Robins on loan from Stoke City after a freak ACL injury in September ruined his 2019-20 season, but his performances in those matches, coupled with the personal tragedy he suffered during his time in BS3, means he and City are forever entwined in affection. Afobes' daughter Amora died after complications from a severe infection, aged just 2 years old, and the outpouring of grief and sympathy for the former Arsenal forward was immense, with the club paying their own emotional tribute before a championship fixture against, coincidentally, Millwall. More than 2 years on, Afobes was once again scoring at Ashton Gate in front of South Stand, but after putting Millwall 2-1 up in the first half from the penalty spot, his celebrations were muted. The 28-year-old then dropped to his knees in front of the South Stand and signalled to the heavens, prompting a respectful round of applause around the stadium from fans in red as well as navy blue. Thank you, Bristol City fans, for clapping me after I scored today, Afobes wrote on Instagram. I've never seen anything like it. I will always have the club close to my heart for being there for my family and I during the most difficult time in my life and the death of my first daughter when I was a City player. Mutual respect. I was never going to celebrate. I'm truly humbled by the love. And although he finished on the losing side, as City came back to win 3-2, Afobes produced a positive performance on his return to Ashton Gate, with his penalty capping a fine first half in which he contributed to Nigel Pearson's half-time tactical change. Afobes' pace and direct running gave rookie defender Riley Towler all sorts of issues, with the 19-year-old also bringing him down for the spot kick. Pearson made 2 significant substitutions all in the system, which changed the complexion of the game. Since joining Millwall on loan from Stoke, reuniting him with Gary Rowett, who had taken him to the Bet365 stadium in the first place, Afobes has scored 5 goals in 21 championship games. And there the story ends. So there you go. Nice little story there from the Bristol perspective about Benik Afobes and Bristol City and how they are linked through past instance. Moving on to this, so of course everyone's excited about the big game. I keep talking about it. Everyone's talking about it. We've had stories get literally every couple of days about the game. We've had Will Zaha play. Well, he's been called up by Ivory Coast, the Cote d'Ivoire. He's going to Cameroon to play into the African Cup of Nations. So we've had that. We've had injuries. And here we go again. So we've got the injury report ahead of Saturday's game versus Crystal Palace, and it's only Monday, so the game's 5 days away, and they're already talking about the injuries for that game and what team we might put out. I mean, you got which will never mind which team we put out, which team will turn up, which team will play. We're consistently inconsistent. So you would imagine after the nightmare of the Bristol City second half that we might actually play decently against Crystal Palace and we might actually get a result. But you never know. We might play well in the first half and then play shit in the second half. You never know. So this is from newsden.co.uk. Mill Talisman. Jed Wallace said to be a doubt for South London derby against Crystal Palace. Isn't the South in South London supposed to be capitalised? I'm sure it is. That just looks very weird. Gary Rowett admitted he doesn't know if Jed Wallace will be fit to place Crystal Palace in the third round of the FA Cup next Saturday. Wallace missed Mill's 2-1 defeat at Bristol City on Sunday. He hasn't played since the 2-1 loss at Peterborough on December 11. Lions boss Rowett could only name 6 substitutes on the bench at Ashton Gate, including 15-year-old Zach Lovelace and fellow academy player Nana Boateng. Rowett was asked if Wallace could return for the game against Palace. I've got no idea at the moment, Rowett said. We felt like it might be an injury that would be 10 days or 2 weeks. At the moment, it's taking longer than that. We would hope to have Jed available, but he's not trained at all, so I couldn't tell you at this moment in time. I'll tell you what, if he's fit, he's playing, whether he's on the bench or wherever he's starting. Mason Bennett was a late withdrawal for the game against the Robins after reporting ill the night before the game. Rowett added, at the moment it makes it very difficult to pick the team and organise the team. We try to do shape generically with everyone, and the reason for that is the likes of Mason Bennett, who might have started today, suddenly becomes unavailable. We've had that 5 or 6 times in the last 3 or 4 games, but everyone's in the same boat. What happens is it tests your squad, and then when you want to make changes, it's difficult to look at 2 young lads in a game like that to get you out of trouble. It's just the situation we're in at the moment. Hopefully in January we can be a little bit stronger body-wise and get players back. It's certainly been a big challenge. So, now, this thing with Jed, now, on the 1st of January, the transfer window opened, and there's massive speculation, of course, that Jed's off, he's going away, he's going to be sold, and that this injury, in quotes, he's not really injured, he's not playing because he's leaving, and that's all the rumours everywhere. Apparently, like, Brentford are going to sign him. There's all Burnley. There's all sorts going on, but yeah, I don't know. I think it's just all nonsense. I don't know. I think he's injured, and I think we'll have to wait and see. He'll probably want to come back for this game, especially if he is running his contract out for the summer, so he can get a move in the summer. But so this will be a high profile game. It's on ITV at lunchtime on a Saturday, because ITV have the FA Cup now. I think this BBC and ITV have the FA Cup rights from this season, so this game is on ITV. That's a Premier League game. There'll be a lot of eyeballs on this game. ITV Sport is doing quite well. They posted up record numbers for their horse racing coverage today. I saw that, so they're doing very well with their sports coverage. Probably because the rest of their program is absolute fucking jank, but you never know. You never know. So there we go. Now moving on. Now we got Loanwatch. Yes, it's Monday, and I tell you what, this is. I love this from News at Den. It's very concise, full of information, jam-packed with information, tells you exactly what you need to know, and it's very thorough. So this is from newsatden.co.uk. They do this every Monday, and they tell us how Mill's loaned out players got on. So will they do this next Monday, or will all of Mill's loan players be back at Millwall? We never know. I don't know. Highly unlikely that they'll all be back, but maybe 1 or 2. So Millwall Loanwatch. Forward signs off initial Hartlepool spell, plus Sutton United go third. Sutton United moved into the automatic playoff places in League 2 after their 2-1 victory at home to Exeter City on New Year's Day. Isaac Loffey was substituted in the 96th minute after Rob Milson's 89th minute penalty following Omar Bougel's early opener and Timothy Deang's equaliser fired the hosts up to third. The U's are a point behind Northampton and 8 off leaders Forest Green. Sutton are at home to Colchester United in the EFL Trophy on Tuesday, that's tomorrow, and travel to... Is that still the group stage, or are they in the knockout rounds now? Must be knockout rounds now, no? I don't know. I'll have to look that up. And travel to Oldham in the league next Saturday. Also in League 2, Tyler Burry signed off his initial loan with Hartlepool United as he started for the first time since September in a 0-0 draw against bottom side Oldham. Burry played 86 minutes up front. After the game, Paul Boss Graham said on BBC Radio T Sport, "They told us on Friday that they were going to be calling him back. I tried to keep that from him today because I wanted him to impact the game in a clear mind, but he already knew about it. I spoke to him about making an impact in his last game and leaving an impression on everyone with his performance. We did try and keep him, we wanted to keep him, but you've seen Millwall's numbers. They had a 15-year-old lad on as a sub, so they are low on numbers and want to bring him back. We've already made the call, but if that changes in the next couple of weeks, can we bring him back? Hopefully they will keep us updated on that." Yeah, and he wasn't involved. I did speculate he might be on the bench for the Bristol City game, but obviously if we played the day before, that would be a bit stupid to be doing that. And quite rightly, Gary Rowett didn't do that. Even with Mason Bennett dropping out, they just had the 6 substitutes. So we will see. You would imagine he'll be on the bench for the Crystal Palace game. Maybe more. Maybe he might start. We've already made them all. I've just read that. In National League, Dover Athletics' winless run now stands at 22 games this season after their 3-1 defeat at Dagenham and Redbridge. Yeah, really bad for Dover Athletic. They got absolutely hammered by the league last season. Got a points deduction this season, which has absolutely crippled them. They're begging and borrowing for players all over the place. Alfie Pavey's playing for them now. He's on loan from Maidstone United. Junior tends to play fullback as former Millwall striker Alfie Pavey scored for Dover following goals from Junior Moraes and Josh Walker. Mars Weston had it a third for Dagenham, who went 5th in the table. Dover are at home to Notts County in the league on Saturday. Yeah, it doesn't look good for them. It doesn't look good for them at all. Also in the 5th tier, Dan Moss wasn't involved in Yeovil Town's 2-1 defeat against Torquay United at Ewish Park. Yeovil are at home to Bournemouth in the 3rd round of the FA Cup on Saturday. So massive game for Yeovil. Bit of a local game as well. And they're in the FA Cup 3rd round. Which they are now. They were in the league before, but they're now a National League team. So big game for them. Should be some decent money in it for them, hopefully. In the National League South, Arthur Penny's Welling United won 1-0 at Dover at Dulwich Hamlet thanks to Deepo Akinyema's 56-minute winner against his former club. The Wings are 17th in the table and host St Albans City next Saturday. And yeah, they had lost 4 games in a row or something like that in the league, I think. And that was a big result for them. I think that they were supposed to play Dulwich Hamlet on Boxing Day as well. I don't know if there was a rearranged one or they did a double header. It's quite often in these leagues they do your local team on Boxing Day and then you have the reverse on the New Year's. So maybe it was that, maybe it was the rearranged game. I'm not too sure, but I believe Arthur Penny played the whole game. He was on the starting sheet. I saw that on Welling United's Twitter, so I'm sure he probably did play all 90 minutes. So there you go. There's your loan watch. Now we're going to move into the stats. But before we get into the stats for the Coventry game, I'm going to bring you this. This is the league table. Now I've already had a look at it, so I'm going to have to scroll back up. What is this the league table of? It's the 2021 league table. What does that mean? Now it's a points-based table based on all the games in the year 2021. Now we don't do yearly leagues. We have a league that grows across 2 years. Some clubs, like Swedish clubs and whatnot, they have to play in the summer, so they can say this is the 2021 league, but we say 21-22 because we go over 2 years. Now, what does this mean? So from January the 1st to December the 31st, all the games you played and the results you got. And why do we do this? What does it mean? It doesn't mean anything. It's just messing around with the numbers and trying to present them in a different way. Now, as you can see, Man City absolutely romped it. They've got 110 points. They scored 113 goals in 44 games. That's something you can only dream about in Millwall. And they only conceded 32. Absolutely run away with that. And so this table is all 92 clubs, and it's ranked by points per game, because of course some teams played more games in the year than others. I don't know how that works because it's just league games, so maybe some games had so we've got Sunderland here, they play 53. Now why was that? Now maybe because they had a run in some cups and had to get them postponed from 2020 and moved into 2021. Like if they had a run in the FA Cup and played first round, second round, and then have other games postponed, maybe they had a route. I don't know, but it's a bit weird. You can see some clubs like Tottenham had 40 games and Sunderland had 53. Now I know they're in different leagues, but still, I don't think that includes. Maybe that includes playoff games. I don't think so, though. I don't think so. So, let's have a look at where are Millwall. So, Championship teams are in orange. So, there's Millwall, 39th. Millwall 39th. 49 games, 18 wins, 16 draws, 15 defeats. Only 55 goals scored, but 58 goals conceded. And that's a -3 goal difference and 70 points, and on a points per game basis that's 1.43. So, but like I said, in terms of championship, so counting just the championship teams, so we've got QPR, the first one, right? So that's 1, then Bournemouth 2, Blackpool 3, Hull 4, Blackburn 5th, Swansea, Peterborough 6, 7, Millwall 8th in the championship. Literally as we are, just outside those playoff places, looking up, wondering if we could be consistent and not consistently inconsistent. Maybe we could be in the playoffs and we could do something. But these 3 of these teams above us are in the championship this season. So for the second half, from August 2021, they were in the championship, but for the first half of the year they were in the league below, League 1. Now obviously they came up from League 1, so they must have done really well in League 1, so that they done really well at the start of the year, and that's boosted their score. So who are those teams? So that's Peterborough, that's Hull, and that's Blackpool. So you take those 3 out. If we take those 3 out, that moves us up to 5th. And that's of the teams that have just played all of their 2021 games in the championship, we are 5th. We are 5th. Can you believe that? Now QPR, the best, Bournemouth, Blackburn, Swansea, and then Millwall. So if the league was just 2021, we would be 5th. But it isn't. And we now come into 2022 wondering, how's that going to be for us? 2021 seems to be alright, fairly decent, to be 5th amongst the championship teams. And can we do better? Can we keep going? Can we push on and break through? Now, how does this compare to last season? Because you're looking at numbers and you're like, well, it's numbers. What does that mean? What am I comparing it to? Is the number 5 a large number or a small number? Or if you're comparing it with the number 1, it's a large number. Comparing it with the number 5,000, it's a small number. So here's 2020 results. We scroll back up. Now, both of these graphs are from a website called experimental361.com. And this time, we have Liverpool top of the situation, but barely. They haven't run away with the league like Man City have, or run away in 2020 as Man City have in 2021. In terms of goals scored and points and whatnot, and points per game. But you can see both Liverpool and Man City are the only 2 teams with more than 2 points per game. They really aren't messing around. We scroll down. Trying to find Millwall, we scroll down, and there we are, 50. So 41 games played, 13 wins, 17 draws, 11 defeats, only 43 goals scored, but only 38 goals conceded. So better defence, the same old shoddy attack, 56 points, and plus 5 goal difference. And the points per game is 1.37. So we got better. We got a lot better, really. And that's why when you say row it out, people look at you like you're a fucking idiot. Like, what are you talking about? Why are you not happy? Things are getting better, my friend. Why are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? So there you go. I thought I'd just share that with you. So 2020, all the games in 2020 for Millwall, 1.37 points per game, and in 2021, 1.43. Getting better, but still just. You need to do it over a season. So if we can keep our 2021 form, don't forget this includes at the end of the last season, the 2021 season, where we basically just gave up at the end of the season and had some shocking results, 6-1 against Coventry, most notably. We couldn't keep it going for that bit just to get to the end of the season. And we were in contention for the playoffs, and that just fell apart, just disintegrated into nothing. So if we'd actually played better and done that, we'd be further up. We might even be in the Premier League by now. But so there you go. I just want to share that with you. Now we are going to move on to the Coventry game. So carrying on from experimental361.com, they do these XG over the length of the match goal lines. XG is expected goals. Basically, if you have a shot, how good of a shot is it? Should it have gone in? Now you can see that big blue line there, and with the circle on top of it, that is the penalty. A penalty is a very high XG. You are basically having a free shot on goal, and you're expected to score it. So that, yeah, and we did score it, and it's 0.8. I think basically every other chance basically is a midget compared to that, except for the one right at the end that Vyman got to win the game. But you can see here they give it 1.6 to Bristol City, 1.5 to Millwall in terms of goals, expected goals. So that's the chances both teams created. It should have been between 1-1 and 2-2. Basically, could have gone either way, but it ended up 3-2 to Bristol City. So something went wrong there. And if you look at the red line, something that we see time and time again, quite often, first shot on goal by the opposition goes in. Now it's not every week, because if it was every week, Gary wouldn't be in a job, but and we'll probably be in a relegation zone. But it happens enough that you notice it, and you're left scratching your heads, thinking, what what these players doing before they get onto the pitch, that they're not focused enough to defend for the first 15 minutes and not concede a goal, or not concede a goal from the first shot on target. Now we know that was an error from Bart Biakowski. He kicked the ball to Wyman, who then lobbed it over him in the goal, but it happens before. It probably happens in about 15% of our games that this happens. So what the fuck happened? And you can see after that, Bristol City have one more shot where the red line goes up just before we score, and then they don't have another shot until right at the end of the half. So they had 3 shots in the first half, and that's clearly why the manager wasn't happy, and he made 2 changes at half time. And you can see after half time in the second half where the red line starts going up and it starts to look more like stairs, which is what you want. You want chances. Basically, you want a chance every 5 minutes. I think if we have a chance every 5 minutes, you're doing very well. And it needs to look like a staircase. Now, in the second half, we have one that kind of looks like a long staircase. It's a bit shit. That means the chances we created weren't very good, and they were few and far between. Every probably 10 minutes or so. One in the 58th minute, and then one in the probably 67th minute, and then one further on in about the 85th minute, just before they score. So there you go. You're looking at that. You can see first half we were a better team, even with their error, and it was good to see us score 2 goals, which I'm saying, like a roller coaster. I said in yesterday's video. We start going up, and then you start going up in a roller coaster. You start shitting your pants. You reach the top, and it stops. You can see out over miles, and then boom, it drops, and your heart drops. And that's them scoring that first goal, where your heart drops, and you think, oh no, they scored already after 7 minutes for the first shot on goal. Where are we going here? But then it goes up and down and twists around, and you feel it. Whee, you get the euphoria of we score a great goal, then we get a penalty and we score it, although the guy doesn't get sent off. Fair enough, maybe because it was raining and they gave him the benefit of doubt of him sliding in, but I think most days that probably could have been a red card. And then you get to the second half, and it's just the attack gets stifled as we try and defend, or we're forced to defend by the changes that Bristol City made. And then once the substitution gets made, or taking off Ojo for George Evans, it's crap City. They only have 2 shots, and they both go in after that. So there you go. That's what happened in that game. Now we're going to move on to Info Gold on there. Now they made a mistake here. I don't know if they corrected it. Did they correct it? Yeah, no, they haven't. So they said Ojo came off for Boateng, which didn't happen. I think they made the mistake because George Evans is 28 and Boateng is number 38. So I think they made that mistake. But you see, here's the events of the game. Literally straight after George Evans came off Ojo, goal, and then boom, and literally 4 minutes after Wyman scores, he decides to bring Pearce off for Matt Smith. Again, reacting, not being proactive, being reactive. You can see at half time, Nigel Pearson saw there was problems and changed it, and that's what a good manager does. Won them in the game. We basically wait and see what the opposition do, and we react to what they're doing. Hopefully that works out for us. Now let's go to lineup. You can see in the middle there above the red FT, the XG. They actually give us the higher XG. This website 1.66 for Millwall to 1.03 to Bristol City. So I think that's because Wyman's first goal was quite far out, so that probably would have had a low XG. There you go, 10 out of 10. You can't do better than that. Getting a hat trick there. But let's look at the player ratings from this website, even though they're not very good. They say 8.34 to Tom Bradshaw, 5.89 to Danny Mack is the lowest one I can see. But they do actually show George Evans coming on. They give him the rating of 5.65, but they still say Boateng came on, which he didn't. But this website is known for shot maps, so let's have a look at the shot map. Let's split it up for first half. And there you go. They had 3 shots. One of them was a gift on a plate, and the Vyman, he's basically, I don't know what happened to this guy. He was at Aston Villa, and he just kind of dropped down to Bristol City, and that's probably, I imagine, because he wanted to play. And he's still probably Premier League quality player, but he wanted to play week in, week out. Didn't want to sit on the bench, which is quite noble of him. I mean, he could play in the Premier League and just be doing nothing, picking up a large amount of money, but he wants to play. And he's still very good, I mean. And every time I've seen him play against us, he's played quite well. I don't know if he's got some kind of problem with us. But there you go, that's them in the first half. 3 shots on target. There's us. Look at this. Look at that. Millwall were the better team in the first half. Hands down. Hands down. Couple of long range shots. 2 decent chances that were goals. One inside the 6-yard box, which we say time and time again. When you whip the balls into that 6-yard box, players like Bradshaw and Afobes run onto it. They love that, and they've scored quite a few goals like that. And Benik Afobes there with the penalty, and that's as good as you get there. Now, was this a fair result? They don't say no, not really. 69% out of 100 that was a fair result, and you can probably see why. We go to the second half. There you go. They decide we can't be shooting from outside the area, we need to get inside the area, so he makes the changes and they try and keep doing that. And there's, you can see Millwall's chances, 4 in the second half, so it's basically a reversal. There's Tom Bradshaw, 8-4. That was that chance there. There you go, they managed to get inside our area and get shots away, and that's all it took. And they could do that probably because we started to sit back and sit back and sit back and invite them on. And how did that work out? Like it always works out. Doesn't work out. So let's look at the stats. So possession percentage 55 to 45. Attempts on target 7 to 3. Attempts off target 1 to 7. That's not good, is it? 7 shots off target. Block shots 4 to 1. That's shots you've had that were blocked. Seems they were mostly goalkeepers and saves. So basic bar. Looks like both of the goalkeepers blocked those shots, as it's goalkeeper saves 1 to 4. No, normally you get a defender blocking the shot sometimes. Now total passes 515 to 372, and completed passes 397 to 262. We never pass the ball. We don't pass the ball. That's one thing we don't do. Should we be doing more of that? I don't know. Corners 5 to 3, offsides 2 to 2, fouls 14 to 11, yellow cards 4 to 2. So there's your stats. Now let's move on to whoscored.com. Let's have a look at this. So there you go. There's the match events. They've got the real substitutions. George Evans on, Shea Ojo, and that was the beginning of the end. They all completely fucking fell apart after that. So let's have a look at what the players did. Now they don't have an attendance here. I don't know why. Normally in the middle. And if you look at the club badges at the top, pretty even rating all round. Even when you got one player skewing it out of sight. So they were basically a one-man team. And you can see Millwall players having quite a few players with 7 or more. They've got the one player with 9.2, and everyone else is a bit of a muchness. And you look at the top by the club badges, the average player rating 6.68 for Bristol, 6.60 for Millwall. So not a lot in it. Not a lot in it there. So let's scroll down and have a look at what's happening here. So you can see Ojo playing down the middle, basically subbing for Jed Wallace. Now, is that in anticipation of Jed Wallace not being available for the Crystal Palace game? So they are looking to do something similar in that game. I don't know. We will see. Now, will Ojo play in that game? Has he been given permission to play in the FA Cup? Are we allowed to play him? Now, it's a season-long loan. You would think so. Don't know if they're allowed to recall him, but we should be. We should be allowed to recall him and to play him. I don't think they will recall him. So, just looking at the Bristol City players as well, you see here the geezer who come off the bench, Masenga, 7.6 from coming off the bench. Now, that's what you want to see from your subs, a rating like that. You got the assist. So let's just scroll through the game. Total shots 12 to 11. So pretty even there in terms of shots, attempts on target, attempts at goal, basically. Possession percentage by player. Pierce had the most. Mitchell 5.1, 5.1. The forwards not much. They're basically just running on the end of balls played up to them. Ojo didn't have a lot of time on the ball. There you go. Pass success percentage not quite low for both teams. Was the weather wasn't that good. And you can see here is now the right hand side. Basically the right hand side for Bristol City playing better than the left hand side. Is what's that down to? Is that down to Cooper and Pierce versus Hutchinson and McNamara and Mitchell? Don't know. That those quite a few goals did come down that side, that left hand side. Our left hand side, their right hand side. Murray Wallace is quite high, 82. Mitchell 81, but again Biakowski 27. Probably his worst distribution game for a long time. Dribbles, we were actually dribbling quite well there, 2 to 11. So that was probably must have been the game plan, you would imagine. We don't normally have that many. That is a bit weird. Aerials 1, 26 to 35. Hutchinson with 8, and the goal scorer didn't win a single aerial. Neither did the geezer alongside him, Scott. So didn't seem to matter. They still won the game. Tackles 13 to 9. So they are midfielders on the left hand side doing more tackling, it seems, and not a lot of passing. Okay. Corners 5 to 3. Quite weird. They had 4 different players taking 5 corners. That is weird. Bradshaw and Wallace took ours. Murray Wallace. Dispossessed, having the ball taken off of them. Savile, Ojo, Mitchell and Afobe. That's quite high. So let's have a look now at the match report from that game. There you can see Millwall were effective at creating goal scoring opportunities from the flanks, were strong at finishing, lost possession often, committed a high number of individual errors. Yes, the individual errors, that's what did it. That's what messed us up. Favoured long shots, favoured through balls. You can see here, so attempts 12 to 11, 10 to 7 open play, 2 to 3 set piece, 0 to 1 penalty, and 12 shots for them, 11 for us, 3 goals for them, 2 for us. So that's a pretty high conversion rate for us, 18. That is quite high for us, but they had an higher one, they had 25. So our attack seemed to be on point, doing what they needed to do. Now, did that leave us exposed defensively? Well, not really. It was only when we stopped to try and attack, when Gary Rowett took off Ojo and tried to shore it out with George Evans, that everything fell apart. Maybe he'd been better off taking off Pearce, moving Murray Wallace back, putting Scott Malone on the left, and doing something like that. I don't know. That didn't really work, that substitute, did he? There's your attack sides. There's your shot directions. There's your shot zones. Action zones. Player positions. So there you go. You can see McNamara being quite pressed back on Hutchinson, or does it mean Hutchinson going over and helping him a bit more? That probably left Pearce quite exposed. There was a moment, quite undignified moment in the second half, where Pearce kind of nearly got done for pace. He managed to scramble back, but he was on the floor, like flailing at the ball with his leg, like a turtle, like lying on its back. Really not good. Really not good. But you can see the formation there quite clear for Bristol City. If you look at that, it's basically kind of like a 4-2-4, and for us it's kind of a bit of a jumble, kind of probably a diamond in the middle, 5-4-1 with a diamond. Yeah, but you can see again the big gap between the centre back and the midfield, and they're filling that gap with number 38 and number 6, and then they've got 18 and 14 there. Just overloading that area between our defence and midfield, and that's the way it goes. That's how you beat Millwall, by doing that. We've seen it a number of times now. There's Billy Mitchell's not really that new defensive midfielder guy, so you can't really be doing that. He's more of a get the ball and run and do something with it kind of midfielder. So let's have a look at the player stats now as we finish this roundup. Let's scroll down. Let's have a look at the ratings. So Murray Wallace, Millwall's man of the match, 7.45. Quite interesting, because normally they scoring a goal gives you a big of a boost, but the 2 goal scorers below Murray Wallace, and I'll probably agree with that. Murray Wallace was pretty decent. He was pretty decent. I think he does play better in Scott Malone role now this season compared to Scott Malone last season. Scott Malone really isn't doing it this season, and when Murray Wallace has played there in place of him, he does seem to play a lot better than him. So maybe it's that factor there. I don't know. In terms of so we've got Tom Bradshaw 7.37, Benik Afobes 7.19, George Saville 7.07. So 4 players with 7. And the low man, of course, Bartosz Białkowski got the ready. That means error. And what have we got? So I can't believe we've got George Evans with 6.59, getting a higher rating. Shea Ojo was quite good yesterday. Don't know why his rating's so low. We might be able to see that in the stats, but I don't know. I have no idea why. I thought he played quite well. We will see. What so Alex Pearce quite low, 6.33 for someone who played 87 minutes. That is a low score. I think maybe 2 games in 4 days was a bit too much for him. Maybe it took even a big man with a big personality, which I don't know. You would think Gary Rowett gives that impression that he is that guy. To say to Alex Pearce, well, you did well in 1 game, but now we're gonna drop you to the bench. Take a big man to do that after the way Alex Pearce played against Coventry. He did play very well, but you need to have a bit of fault, right? Okay, well, you did play well there, but can you catch lightning in a bottle twice? No, well, I don't think so. Not in 4 days, because you are 33 years old and it's showing on your feet. So should have probably been dropped for this game, with maybe Wallace playing there and Malone on the left. We don't know, but yeah, there you go. So let's have a look now. So let's have a look through your offense. Okay, that's fantastic. So we've seen this before. There are no results to display. I think that's because they haven't come through yet. They haven't processed them yet. This happened before in a video some time ago. And then when I went back to check later on, the day after, they were there. So we're just going to have to deal with what we see on the screen here. So shots on target. So we've got all these players having a shot on target, 7 of them. Or having a shot. So seven players with a shot. So how many were actually on target? 3. Now it was raining, so there's that. And to score 2 goals from 3 shots on target is pretty actually fucking good. And it seems it's just our defence that let us down. Like, the partnership of Benik Afobes is working really well now. It is working really well. So passing accuracy, Matt Smith for 100. He probably had 1 pass. I don't know how many passes he had because can't bring it up, but he only had 3 touches. So Murray Wallace there though, for someone who played 90 minutes, having an 82.4 passing accuracy in that weather, that is premium. That's why he got the man at Millwall's highest rating. Billy Mitchell not far behind, 80.9. Pretty decent. Shea Yojo 78.3. Yeah, all very good. So who had the most touches for Millwall? Murray Wallace, Billy Mitchell, George Saville, Sean Hudson, Alex Pierce, Danny McNamara. So there you go. That is it for today's video. Thank you for watching and goodbye.